Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the latest edition of Wow, Lynch, Wow, dedicated to filmmaker David Lynch and inspired by the triumphant return of Twin Peaks. A friendly warning to everyone who isn't caught up on all 8 episodes of the new season of Twin Peaks. There will be spoilers and they will begin in just a moment, so viewers and listeners be warned. We start with Ray and Bad Coop driving around. They talk about Daria, and Bad Coop lies and says she is waiting. They agree to go to some place called the farm, and Bad Coop reminds Ray he has something he needs. But Ray now wants money for this information. So Bad Coop directs them down an isolated road, and Ray stops and needs to take a leak. Coop grabs the gun, checks if it's loaded, and he confronts Ray, telling him he needs the information. But Bad Coop's gun was full of blanks. Ray tricked him, and Ray guns Bad Coop down. Then suddenly, with a flash of light, a bunch of bearded entities come creeping out of the woods, and they appear to be performing some type of unusual ritual over Bad Coop's fallen body. They're doing some strange things, and they rub some blood on Bad Coop's face, and Ray becomes agitated. And as he becomes more and more agitated, we see what appears to be Bob's essence being released from Bad Coop's body. Ray's had enough. He drives off. He gives Philip a call. He tells him he thinks he killed Bad Coop, but he isn't really sure. The 9-Inch Nails are performing at the Roadhouse. As they play, you get the feeling that something is about to happen, that this is going to transition into something big. Bad Coop's dead body suddenly rises up. Yup, he's up all right. Flashback to July 16th, 1945. White Sands, New Mexico. We see where the first atomic bomb was tested. And this transitions into a visually stunning montage sequence. The sequence reminded me a lot of Jupiter and Beyond the Infinite from Kubrick's 2001. My best guess is that we are witnessing some type of birth here, and we are seeing a molecular chain reaction that appeared to open up some sort of ripples or portals in our dimensional structure. And this seems to be something that forever changed the laws of the lodge entities. We see the convenience store. And an array of electrical current seems to have brought forth the physical manifestation of the mysterious woodsman entities. And they show up, and they start creeping around everywhere, doing whatever it is that they do, both inside the store and outside around the old-fashioned gasoline pumps. Next, we see a creature that looks an awful lot like the one from the glass box, and it coughed out a bunch of stuff that included a sphere with Bob's essence apparently inside of it. And this looked an awful lot like what we saw emerge from Bad Coop when it appeared he had died. So this ball with Bob inside it floats over something, and it looks exactly like the purple ocean from the realm of non-existence. We see a structure atop a large cliff surrounded by this ocean. Inside, we see a woman listening to some tunes, and she's inside a room that contains a mechanical-looking structure that looks like the device that had a lever pulled by the eyeless woman. The woman sitting on the couch is mesmerized by the music. But then some type of alarm sounds from the mechanical device, and the giant suddenly emerges from behind it. He comes out, and he looks baffled. He stands around doing absolutely nothing for a moment, seemingly lost in deep thought. He finally decides it's time to inspect the alarm device, and then he turns it off. He shares a knowing glance with his lady friend still seated on the couch, and then he walks away. He walks slowly up a flight of stairs. He walks across a large room, and he comes up to a stage area with a large screen. The screen shows the atomic bomb test, and the giant watches on. He sees the woodsmen doing their thing at the convenience store, and then he sees that evil entity that seemed to cough up Bob. The giant wasn't pleased by the sight of Bob, Then the giant floats upwards as his lady friend enters the room with him. She sees Bob on the screen, and the giant is just floating around, chilling out. We see a colorful magical aura that begins shooting out from the giant's head as he's just chilling out, suspended, doing his back float. His lady friend looks pleased by this, and the giant keeps doing his thing and emitting some kind of magical powers. His lady friend sure looks pleased, and then a ball floats out of the giant's head towards the woman, and she catches it. Inside this sphere, we could see the face of Laura Palmer. The woman gives the ball a kiss, and then floats it up into some type of gadget that was ready to receive it. The ball then gets fired out of this device onto the screen, which shows planet Earth. The giant's lady friend again looks pleased as the giant continues his back float. We fast forward to 1956, August 5th, in a New Mexico desert. There's an egg in the sand, and it hatches. Some type of weird insect-looking frog creature thing comes hobbling out of it, and then it's off and on its way. There's a full moon outside, and a young man and a woman are walking near the convenience store. She found a heads-up penny, and she thinks this means good luck. Woodsman entities begin creeping around in the desert. A man and his wife are driving. They stop at what appears to be an accident, surrounded by woodsmen and accompanying electrical sounds. One woodsman approaches the car, asks the driver if he's got a light, and this guy gets freaked out and drives the hell out of there. The young lad gets permission for a quick kiss from his young female companion, and they part ways after he had walked her home. The woodsman looking for a light enters a radio station, KPJK. A mechanic, a waitress, and the young lady who just got a kiss are all listening to the station. The woodsman walks in, asks for a light, and touches a woman's head, which causes her great harm and ultimately death. He then walks into the sound booth, asks this guy if he's got a light, and he grabs the DJ's head too. It causes him great discomfort, but he's still alive. The woodsman then grabs the radio microphone and says, "This is the water, and this is the well. Drink full and descend. The horse is the white of the eyes, and dark within." He repeats this over and over and over again. The mechanic listening to the station passes out. The waitress listening, she does too. But the young lady willingly lays down and falls asleep. The insect frogger-looking creature thingy flies into her window, and then it crawls into her mouth, which opened at just the right time. The woodsman finally puts an end to his repetition. He kills the DJ and exits the station. We hear agitated horse sounds in the distance. So, Part 8 will definitely give us plenty to think about for the next 2 weeks. It was a powerhouse display of stunning surreal imagery and sound. And watching this episode, it truly was an experience. The big takeaways for me, although I probably missed a ton of connections and will need the full 2 weeks to try and better absorb what it was we just watched, but for me, the takeaways are: number one, we have some answers and new clues about the origins of how the Lodge entities began operating in our world. Number two, it's probably now safe to assume that the woodsmen spirits aren't the nicest entities in our world. Number three, it now appears as if Cooper's doppelganger is no longer connected with or associated with Bob. And number four, the giant created that ball with Laura inside it as a response to seeing a similar ball coughed up that was containing Bob. These reveals in themselves provide more questions than answers, and that's what's making this experience so wonderful on the whole. This entire glimpse into the backstory of the driving mythology behind Twin Peaks, this was a very welcome experience for me. I can't wait to see what happens next, and after that powerhouse display of visual prowess in an incredible episode like that, I'm glad we have a 2-week break. So what did you think of Part 8, everyone? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching and have a great night, everyone.